Hello and welcome to an all-new episode of the All Day Show with no budget with me, Jason Leong. Now, why was this show gone for so long and now only I'm making a comeback? Well, each episode takes up to 8 hours to write, perform, record, edit, and produce. 8 hours of my life which I would rather spend being depressed at the state of our affairs in Malaysia. So if you want to sponsor my show, please do so. Then I can hire an editor and a writer, which will help speed along the process. Please, I am desperate for money. We are now in our third MCO, extended, and like clockwork, the authorities are messing up the SOPs by practicing double standards. And just like clockwork also, the rakyat is panic buying at the supermarkets. I find this very irritating because all these Malaysians who queue up in the supermarkets with 20 loaves of gardenia bread, they are very inconsiderate and selfish because when you queue up buying 20 loaves of gardenia bread, it really prevents me from panic buying my 20 loaves of gardenia bread. Okay? Your panic buying hinders my panic buying. Please think of others. Hey, by the way, Gardenia, you want to sponsor this show? Huh? Firstly, let's talk about troubles down south. Recently, a viral video showed a Singaporean Chinese man accusing a Singaporean Indian man of being racist because his girlfriend is not Indian?
There's a Chinese Singaporean man here who's upset with the person behind the phone who's recording,
Sure.
saying that she being a Chinese shouldn't be with a person like me.
Yeah, correct.
And then
Indian race, I'm not like you. I'm not just saying you, okay? I'm saying Indian race. I've got nothing against you personally, but I think it's a racist that the Indian prey on Chinese girl. If you're proud of your own race, marry Indian.
I can't even believe that.
I got nothing against that, okay? But I know you're preying on the Chinese girl. And the Chinese, I'm not happy with it.
I'm racist.
You don't see a Chinese guy,
Just because
you don't see a Chinese guy preying on an Indian girl.
As a doctor, I can tell you that this man clearly suffers from SPS, small penis syndrome. Where else would he be upset that Indian guys are preying on Chinese girls? Look, I get it. It's hard for Chinese guys to compete with Indian guys for the affections of Chinese girls. Okay, they got facial hair, they got chest hair, and they've got cooler names. I know an Indian friend, his real name is Cash. I know another Indian guy, his name is Money. Cash and Money, going after Chinese girls. You know what my Chinese name is? Leong Se Kiong. It sounds like a herb, doesn't it? Come, take this Leong Se Kiong. It's good for your COVID. Can treat your COVID, come. I think what this guy is trying to tell us is that he actually likes Indian girls. But Indian girls don't like him back. I get it. And that's why he's lashing out. Look, it can be done. I am a chink with an Indian kink. Okay, I love chocolate. And once you go brown, you don't turn around. Now, why did she go for me? Well, I think it's because my stuff is easier to handle. She likes cute things, and my wife appreciates the small things in life. It was later reported that this racist guy is also a lecturer. You know the old saying, humans aren't born racist, they are taught racism. And this guy just gave us a front row seat to his class. Oh, by the way, the university is threatening to fire him. So eventually, he'll have no class, just like in real life. Then there's this other thing which happened in Singapore, and warning, this is really upsetting. What the fuck? The disrespect is astonishing. And now you can make an argument that, she cannot tahan the noise anymore. But look, the Indian guy said that he performs those prayers twice a week. That doesn't seem excessive. To be fair, we Chinese have a lot of noisy things in our culture. Lion dancing during Chinese New Year, firecrackers during Chinese New Year. Our funerals are anything but quiet, and every once in a while, Chinese people will gather to contribute to Malaysia's biggest noise pollution, singing half drunk at karaoke. Now that is an instrument of torture. What amuses me most is that that gong is not a normal thing to have in a Chinese household. And that thing looks brand new, which means she had to go outside during a pandemic, take public transport to the nearest store that sells these things, buy the gong, come back home, wait for the Indian guy to perform his prayers, and then behave like a douche. Now, you can say she's racist, but at least she's hardworking in her racism. Whew. 2 incidents of racism in Singapore within a week. Look, Singapore, you know I love you, but you don't have to be overachieving in everything, okay? You don't have to do everything better than Malaysia. Racism, corruption, people getting injured on the MRT, those are our things, okay? You stay in your lane. You can keep your world-class infrastructure, financial system, economy, healthcare, education. You do all those things. You leave our things to us, okay? Because if you keep going down this road, one day you're going to claim in front of CNN that Malaysia's racism actually comes from Singapore, and we will not have that. I've been reflecting on how Malaysia has been since this pandemic began. You know, and if you go on Twitter nowadays, you see that Malaysians are somehow weirdly united in our anger against the authorities, especially now that their mishandling of the pandemic has affected our livelihoods, you know. And in a weird way, when we are all reduced to our basic instinct of survival and seeing how Singapore has just 2 incidents of racism hit their national newspapers, I realized that recently we have forgotten to be racist to one another. You realize that? Like civilian on civilian racism, citizen on citizen racism has gone to an all-time low. I can't remember the last time someone told me to balik China. Which means that the silver lining in this pandemic is that Malaysians are beginning to realize that we all need to survive together. You know, we need to go through this pandemic together. And I think that's a nice thing. Which means that what I'm looking for to know that Malaysia has successfully gotten out of the pandemic is not the decreasing number of COVID cases. It's not that our economic figures are going up. It's not all that. All we have to do is just wait for that one guy on social media to say, "Hey, China babi." Then you know we are back to the good old days. Because we will get out of this COVID-19 pandemic. But racism, there is still no vaccine for that. Now, we all always think that doctors are super smart. And yes, I have contributed a lot to that public perception. But sometimes doctors make mistakes. Sometimes doctors can be fucking stupid.
Nak berdiri nak sama-sama lelaki, no. Nanti awak punya sibuk nak buat apa lelaki-lelaki buat, testosteron meningkat, dan bagi siapa belum kahwin, lambatlah jodoh. Siapa tinggi testosteron, asyik nak drive, nak achieve, nak independent, memanglah. Orang lelaki suka perempuan lembut-lembut, high estrogen, mengharapkan perlu ditolong. Biarlah macam bodoh-bodoh sikit. Itu bolehlah.
Okay, okay. Unless I'm misreading the video, I think what she's trying to say is that if women want to get married or get their man, they should kind of dumb themselves down so that men don't feel threatened or intimidated. You know, like what bodoh-bodoh means, like pretend to be stupid, whatever. And there are a lot of problems with that. Chiefly is that it's quite rich for a professor doctor in ophthalmology to tell other women to dim their own shine so that they can get their man. I mean, what kind of man would you get anyway by pretending to be dumb when, you know, you're going to get monkeys, you're going to get douchebags, okay? That's not really good advice for women. And number 2, the implication is that men generally, feel threatened by smarter women. Now, that's not true generally, okay? Yes, there are some douchebags, there are some insecure men, there are sexists and misogynists out there, but that doesn't mean all men are intimidated or insecure when they are confronted with smarter women. Take my wife, for instance. She's a very smart lady. She graduated from medical school with first-class honors. Very few people did that. And then she passed her master's in anesthesiology, a notoriously difficult paper in Malaysia. She passed both parts, part 1 and part 2, on her first attempt. And in the second part, she passed it with distinction. Okay, one of 3 people in her cohort to do so, and she did all that while she was 8 months pregnant. And that's why I'm attracted to her. She's smart, she's intelligent, and she's hardworking. And that's... Sorry. Hello? I was saying that you're very smart.
I must not be very smart because I married you.
Thanks for watching. See you at the next episode. Thank you.